Hello everyone, Siddharth this side, and in this video we will be solving HES 38 problem on LeetCode, which is count and say. So this is a medium difficulty level problem, and the explanation of this problem is quite difficult here. So let me first simplify the problem statement for you guys. So let's move on to the whiteboard. So we have given a number, suppose n is equals to 4. So what we have to do, we have to return something. Let's suppose we have to return something and something which will going to be string. Now for n is equals to 1, what we have to do, we have to return 1, and this will going to be a base case also. Let me move on first. So now for n is equals to 2, what we have to do, we just have to count the occurrence of this number 1 in our string, uh, in a current string, which is 1 in this case, and now we just have to add the number itself to our string. Now for n is equals to 2, we have to return 11. Now for n is equals to 3, what we have to do, we have to follow the same procedure here also. First we will be counting the number of 1, which is 2 in this case, and the number itself, which is 1. Now we will follow the same procedure for n is equals to 4. So 2 is occurring for one time, so 1 and 2 itself, then 1 is occurring for one time, so 1 and 1. So this will going to be a final string, and this will we have to return. So n is equals to 1 will going to be our base case, and we have to, for the current level, we have to implement this procedure. The procedure will going to be very simple, guys. We have to take a string, and we have to start counting the number of occurrence of our current character in our string, and we have to store that in the start, and we have to store our number at the end, and that we have to return. And this is obviously going to be a recursive approach. So this is our first level approach that we have to do, and we will pass to our n minus 1. We will pass this method to our n minus 1 call, and it will do the same work for us. So let's move on to here. Okay, so now what we have to do, first we have to handle the base case, which will going to be if n is equals to 1. If n become equals to 1, what we have to return, we have to return a string which will going to be 1. Okay, now in the next part we just have to call our count and say method again, and let's save the string that will be coming from this count and say function, to which will going to be initial string. Let's say initial string, and count and say, and pass n minus 1 here. Now what we have to do, we have to do some process after moving on to our first level. So the process, let's comment it out. So processing the upcoming string from count and say. Now, so in the start, what we have to do, let's initialize an string builder so that we can append easily. So string builder will going to be a result, and let's initialize it with an empty string. Now what we have to do, we just have to count the occurrence of the number, and we have to append a result. So for that, let's create a for loop which will start from I is equals to 0, and it will go up to init dot length. Okay, and let's do I plus plus. Now what we have to do, first let's suppose the string that we get is 15. So first what we have to initialize, and count variable. Let's first take out an character. Let's take out 1. So for that, we will be using char because it's a char. So char ch is equals to init dot char at index I. So after taking out this first character and initializing and count of this, which will going to be 1, as we have already have one number, so we have to initialize our count by 1. Now what we have to do, we just have to count the occurrence of the number. For that, while let's initialize I here, so while I is less than is equals to init dot length -1, because why we are doing this, because there can be an index out of bound error, because we have another condition here that init dot char at index I should be equals to init dot char at index I plus 1. So uh, if we don't do this in init dot length -1, then index out of bound error can come, because for I is equals to init dot length for I, let's suppose I is 4, so for I is equals to 3, we will be checking for 4, which is not present in a string. So for that we will be using this init dot length -1. Now what we have to do, we will be uh, we will be counting, we will be incrementing the counter, which will going to be count plus plus and I plus plus. And so after counting, what we have to do, we have to append a string also. So let's append here. So this result is our final string builder, so let's append it. So result dot append. So first what we have to append, as what I had told you earlier, that first we have to append the count of the occurrence of the given number, then we have to append our character itself. So this whole code will be doing the process part at any level, and in the last, what we have to do, we have to return a final string. So this is our final string. So let's try to run this code. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I have initialized it with the method of string. So string result is equals to new string builder. Okay, now let's try to run this. Okay, so as the return type of this method is string, so we have to convert it to the string as well. So result dot to string. I think now this code will work fine. Okay, now let's try to submit this problem. Okay, so we have successfully solved this problem. So thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.